Hi everyone, this is Jeanette with Mountain Misters at mountainmisters.com, and I want to welcome you to my YouTube channel for today. Today I'm going to share with you a card that I've made using the Lift Me Up stamp set, and this is the card we're going to be working on. And I've also stamped the envelope of the balloon and the inside of the card. And this is the stamp set. It's from the New Occasions catalog, and it's called Lift Me Up. It's got all of these little images in it. There's 16. And today we're going to be using this sentiment right here, just a note. And we're going to be using the framelets to cut the balloon. And these are the framelets. This is part of a bundle, and it's in the New Occasions catalog. I'll open this up even though a lot of the framelets are already removed from here because of what we're going to use. But that's what some of those look like. We're also going to be using some Stampin' Up! Dimensionals, some snail adhesive, some Night of Navy ink, the fine tip glue pen. We're going to be using the watercolor pencils. They're also new in the Occasions catalog. We're going to be using Wink of Stella and the Mister. And this is how the card goes together. I started with a piece of Night of Navy cardstock. I cut it at 5.5 on the long side, and then turned it and scored it at 4 1/4, and you end up with a sheet that looks just like this. Then on the inside I cut white cardstock, and this is cut at 4 5 1/4, and I went ahead and layered it on the inside. And we'll go ahead and we'll stamp our balloon on this right away and on our envelope, so we can put that away. So we'll make sure it's inked up really well, which the top wasn't, and we're just going to stamp that right down here in the corner. Like that. And then we're going to take it and we're going to stamp it on the corner of the envelope right here. Just like that. And that gives you that impression. And the envelope is now complete. And we're going to be waiting on that in just a second to dry. The next layer that goes on the front of the card is a Whisper White sheet. And it's cut at 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. And it'll layer onto this. And then this is from the Sale-A-Bration. When you order $50 worth of product, you get product free, and this is the paper pack that goes with the Lift Me Up, and this is cut at 4 inches by 5 1/4. And these to the front of the card, and then that will be done. So I'm just going to take my snail adhesive. I'm going to put that on there like this, and then we're going to attach that to the front of here. See if I can do this working around the camera. Okay, that's down. Then I'm going to adhere the pattern paper to this. And we're going to attach this to the front. And the front of the original card is a little bit different because that was when the sheet of paper was completely brand new. Okay, the next thing we're going to do, the big shot work, but I just took a sheet of watercolor paper and I scribbled with the watercolor pencils as much as you want, and just this has to be big enough for these framelets to fit here, so when you put it on, this piece of paper with the die cut machine, you can go ahead and get that cut out. And after you get your paper ready to go, you're just basically gonna mist it like this. This one's already been done, but you're just gonna mist it like that. And then you're gonna put it aside to dry, or you can hit it with your embossing tool to dry it. Once the balloon pieces are done, then you're going to go ahead and layer them on a piece of cardstock. And you'll layer them just exactly the same way that they came on there. And I layered them on a scrap of watercolor paper. And then I took and I cut them out so I would have this shape right here. This shape is going to be the foundation for your balloon. So I'll bring in the Big Shot, and I already have a lot of the stuff layered onto there to speed up this video just a little bit. And let me get our space cleared out so we can do that. Okay, so what I have done is layered the overlay for the balloon and the little basket onto the Big Shot, and I'm gonna go ahead and cut those out. And in the meantime, I had stamped the sentiment, just a note to lift your spirits, and we're going to cut all of these at the same time. And this is a layering oval stitched framelit. We're going to lay that right there. Then we're going to run all of this through the Big Shot. This is what you're going to be left with. There's our sentiment. Here is our basket. And here is our balloon. And as you bring this balloon up, you're going to see that it's got a lot of little pieces stuck to the inside of it. So then basically all you're going to do is go ahead and get something sharp. And I use this little stylus, and you're just going to punch everything out. And once you punch everything out, and you get this off the back of the thinlet, you will end up with something like this. And that's the overlay for our balloon. So we'll go ahead and we'll assemble that now. So I'm going to take the balloon piece that I cut out, and then I'm going to take my fine tip glue pen, and when you use this one, make sure you cover it right away. I made that mistake one time and I didn't do it, and I ended up with a clogged nozzle, and I had to really work to get it unclogged. So we're going to just go ahead and layer some of this around here. You don't have to do the whole thing. Okay, I'm trying to work around the camera, so it's kind of hard right here. But I want to keep you in shot. We're going to just get that around there. We'll bring a piece up the side here. Just a few pieces in here. And we'll get the rest with when I do the basket. So we're going to go ahead and I just have a needle in there because I broke my tip. And it's hard for me to see this little hole right here. So there we go. Put that back in. And then we're going to layer this on top of this. And it's just going to go like that. And then turn it over and go ahead and press it down for just a little bit to make sure it adheres. And we'll check it, and I think that looks pretty good. So then we're going to bring in the fine tip glue pen again, and this time we are going to put some of the glue on the basket portion. And again, replace your pin. Okay. And then we are going to adhere the little basket to that. This is going to be these pieces are so little. Like that, we'll just check the back. And it stuck to my finger, so let's try that again. This glue is really, really sticky, and it'll stick to pretty much everything. Okay, so there's that. While I have this turned over, I'm going to go ahead and add some dimensionals to this. And I'm going to put one, probably 4 on the balloon itself. And then I'm going to cut a little piece off the bottom and adhere it to the basket so you won't be able to see it. So I'm going to adhere this right here. And hopefully you won't be able to see it from the other side, which we can't. Okay. Then I'm going to take the Wink of Stella so it'll dry while we're working on putting the card together. And I'm just going to squeeze it gently and paint the Wink of Stella all over this card, just to give it a little bit of sheen. And that the camera may not pick that up very well, but it's really, there it comes. It kind of has like a little bit of a gold effect in it, and it may make the watercolor pencils kind of smear out a little bit, but that's okay. And that is all we're going to do on that. We're going to put that aside to dry. Next, we will go ahead and we'll bring in our card front. And I'm going to put a little few of the dimensionals on the back. You can see I had already stamped it and I had made a mess, so I turned the paper around and just re-stamped it. Excuse me, tickle in my throat. We're going to put that right there. And then I'm also going to use some little, these are the Regal's dimensionals. And I'm just going to add a couple of, I'm going to add a star down here. The Regal's embellishments, I'm sorry. And I'm going to add one little dot to the top, just to dress up the tag a little bit. Now we'll go ahead and we'll put this card together. Okay, so there's our card front that we've already pre-assembled. I'm going to go ahead and take this off. Just like that. And adhere this to the front of the card anywhere you want it. I'm going to put mine right there. Then I'm going to take our sentiment and I'm going to put that right here. And that is our card. So here's this one. And here is this one. I want to thank you for joining me. Please hop over to my blog spot, which is mountainmisters.com. I have a lot of different things posted there. If you need a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, please contact me and I will be more than happy to become your demonstrator. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. Hit the like button and subscribe.